And right now it's time for that time when we talk to our special guest. Tonight our special guest is Patti Clark. Patti is excited about the release of her new book, This Way Up. For any woman who yearns to lead a fuller life but doesn't know how to begin, this book is an ideal starting point. Be watching tonight to win a copy. Patti Clark, welcome to The Beat Goes On.
Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. Hey, aren't you excited? You've got a great book here.
I'm really, really excited.
I was trying to think, this way up? Is it this way up?
Sort of the irony and the way that it's positioned, yes.
Hey, is it a proud moment when you actually see it in print?
Oh my gosh, yes. Ooh. When I first saw it online, I cried, but when I actually held it, I sobbed. Yeah. Absolutely sobbed.
Long journey to get this?
Really long journey, actually. I started writing the book 10 years ago, Gerard. Yeah. 10 years ago. The way that it started is kind of a fun story. My son, Lucas, who is 23 now, Lucas and I were at a bookstore, and I was looking through self-help books because I was running workshops for teenagers and women, and I was taking notes about different things that I liked. And I saw something specifically that I liked that somebody had said in the book, and I read it out loud to my 13-year-old son, and he put his hand on the book that I was reading.
He was 13 then.
He was 13, and he said, "Mom, you've been saying this stuff to me all my life. When are you going to stop reading other people's work and write your own?" That was 10 years ago.
Wasn't that great advice?
Yeah, it really was. And I knew I had to do something, otherwise.
Yeah, but it's, as they say, it's that start. Now, did you use a pencil and paper or a word processor?
I did. When I started, I took everything, I took notes, everything by hand. It goes back to my university days when I would write research papers on index cards. And I would write everything by hand. And that's how I started. I was writing quotes and I was writing ideas. And when I first started putting it together for chapters, I'd lay all the index cards down on the floor and rearrange them like a puzzle.
Now, before we continue, this is a baby boomer chat show.
Yes. Yes. Now, I'm a baby boomer.
You're a baby boomer. Are we allowed to know which wonderful year you entered into?
Absolutely. I was born in 1958, and I am 58 years old.
You're a classic baby boomer,
I am.
Oh,
I'm very classic.
And you went to the Berkeley in California, which is radical students.
Yes, a radical student. Yep, yeah, I did.
What a wonderful time that was in America, wasn't it?
It was. It was. And I grew up in San Francisco, so grew up in the 60s and 70s in San Francisco, went to Berkeley, so it was very vibrant.
You were a California girl.
I was.
So the Beach Boys wrote about you.
Yes, they did. They did. They wished the whole world could be California girls.
I wish they all could be California girls. Now, Patti, if you were in an elevator, they call it an elevator speech.
Yes.
Your elevator goes up, you've got 45 seconds or 30 seconds to tell people who and what you are in your book. What would you say about this book? This is your elevator speech.
Yes, this is my elevator speech. Yeah. This book is about helping women to achieve a sense of self, to come back to a sense of self. It's ultimately a story of healing.
How deep is the problem with women?
Incredibly deep, incredibly deep. I mean, I don't know the relationships that you have, that you have with women, but I've been running workshops for over 10 years with women. I ran it with teenagers before that, but I kept hearing the same thing over and over again about women who had spent their whole life taking care of others, either taking care of children, working outside of the home and doing a lot of nurturing in those jobs, taking care of a husband, focusing outside of self. And most of us women, especially baby boomer women, we're taught to nurture and take care of others. And what happens
is that taught or is that innate?
So, I'm not sure. I personally believe it's both nature and nurture because we're the ones that bear children. We take care of the children. But also, if you look at society and you look at culture, we are taught to be the ones to take, stand by your man and take care of the home. That's exactly right.
Did you stand by your man?
I always do. I've got my husband, Jeff, and my two sons, Lucas and Devin, and I stand by my man, and my man stands by me, and equal.
Well,
but I'm a rabid feminist, Gerard, so I stand by my man while he's standing by me.
What does it mean to be a rabid feminist?
I use that term very tongue-in-cheek, but yeah. I firmly believe in women's rights and equality.
Well, getting back to that core point
yes.
that we started to discuss,
yes.
is you were saying there was a sense of unease or a sense of disease
yes.
in women, and it came from the fact that they were nurturers
yes.
and they devoted their whole life to somebody else. But there came a point in their life where they said, "Hey, what about me?"
Well, what happens often, and since we're dealing with baby boomers specifically, what I kept hearing again and again, and I've done surveys with women as well as in the workshops, we've hit kind of a classic point as baby boomer women, that we were the sandwich generation. We were taking care of our parents and we were raising our kids. And now our parents have mostly died and our children have mostly left home. And so we have this not only single empty nest, but double empty nest. And then on top of this, Gerard, I don't know if you've heard about this with baby boomers, but there's also something called gray divorce revolution. Have you heard about that?
Gosh, no, but that's fascinating. Let me go over that. Gray, as in the word grey.
As in the word grey, as in the color.
Divorce revolution.
Revolution. Oh. What they've discovered is that divorce in all sectors in the developed world has gone down, except for people aged 50 and older, so us baby boomers, it's spiked. So because we're living longer, and because of drugs, and for many other, and women being more independent, and a lot of other factors, the divorce rate has skyrocketed. So now women are looking at, their kids have left home, they aren't taking care of their parents, and quite often there's divorce as well. So this triple empty nest, and women are suddenly saying, who am I? What am I if I'm not a mother and a wife and a daughter?
Yes, true.
What am I? What do I do? And that's why I started writing that book, because it was about finding a sense of self.
And why the title This Way Up?
I love it. I didn't choose it. My publisher did. I have a publisher in America, She Writes Press, a feminist press. And they chose the title, they chose the cover, which I love. But my original title, the one I wanted, was A Women's Guide to Transformation. But they chose that.
So you hold courses.
I do.
This is, and women come in, and how long is it before you start to sense that what we've just talked about is causing this problem, this disassociation?
Well, generally, I mean, it comes up almost immediately. Women, when women are together, and I actually talk about this in the book, the book is actually quite unusual. It's what's being called a hybrid, because the first half of the book is written as fiction, as a narrative, and then the second half of the book.
So you could explain this.
Exactly. So it's hybrid, because the first half is fiction, a narrative, and the second half is a day-by-day journaling. So more self-help. So the combination is hybrid. So what a woman said to me in the workshop is, I want you to write about everything we've done in this workshop, but I want you to do it in a way that I will read, and I won't read a self-help book. So I want you to write a self-help book for women like me that won't read a self-help book. And I thought, okay, how do I do that? So I wrote this story that I wanted to create a real relatable feeling, a place in which women could see themselves in the story without it feeling too threatening. And then the second half, the workbook, actually follows the storyline, the protagonist's journey, but for self. So it's a day-by-day journaling workbook following the same tools that the protagonist had.
Gosh, and what sort of reaction have you had to the book?
Excellent.
Wow.
Really excellent. I've had just wonderful response. A lot of women have emailed me, have I've got, all the social media, and I've had a lot of women contact me through that and just express that it's really made a difference for them.
Some people say, you hear reports that that when we get into this world of feminism, which Germaine Greer started off, and even she has sometimes felt that it may have gone a bit too far, that there were things that needed to be changed, but there was a point where it started in 1968. By about 1985, which that was now probably things, but then feminism is overtaken by radicals, and then it goes off the planet, you see. So And some of these ideas about feminism may have caused the problem that you're talking about, that you've unsettled women's natural desire to be nurturers, and that girls can do anything, and they go on these high-powered careers, and then suddenly their biological clock ticks in, and they find out they can't have babies. Could we be creating? What's your feelings on?
Women were taught you can do anything, but they were expected to do everything. So they were told you can have a high-powered job, but
you still got to put the rubbish out.
Yeah, exactly. You've still got to have the children. You've still got to nurture the children. You still have to make sure dinner's on the table. You still have to make sure your husband's satisfied, and you've still got to get up at 6 in the morning to get the lunches ready for the kids, get them off to work, or get them off to school, and then you go to work. Make sure you're home in time to do the stuff for the PTA and get the laundry done. So what we've done is we've created this monster, in my belief, that women, yes, you can do anything, but you have to do everything. And on top of that, you have to look good when you do it. So not only do you have to be able to do an excellent job, be an executive, and take care of your children and keep your husband satisfied, but you've got to look great. So you've got to get to the gym first before you do the rest of it, because you've got to keep your figure and wear those heels because, my gosh, you look fabulous. So you've got all of these things, and so then women are wondering why they're saying, I'm so stressed and I've lost this sense of self.
And what are men doing during all this?
I won't bite that bait. I think for the most part, the men that I love, the sons that I've nurtured, my husband whom I adore, are looking to support women the best they can. And they're saying things like, you don't have to do it all. And my husband got up in the middle of the night as much as I did when the kids were infants, and we shared workload, and that's what I think a good relationship is, because it is a partnership, in my opinion.
Yes, exactly.
Of course, women are going to have the children because that's the biological imperative. I mean, we will have the kids, we will breastfeed, because that's what biology gave us.
Well, look, I think you're doing a marvellous job. Patti, thank you for coming in today, telling us all about This Way Us Up.
Absolutely.
And
if I could say one more piece as well.
But a couple more things we need to say, but you say yours first.
Just that there are going to be workshops that I'm running that are...
Well, that was my question too,
good.
yeah. Because I think what you're saying is wonderful, and we've got an audience out there would love to talk to you. They really would love to talk to you, because it's all in the book and it's all in their head, isn't it? So how do they get hold of you?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for asking. First of all, the best way to get a hold of me is through my website, which is thiswayupbook.com.
Right, okay.
Thiswayupbook.com.
Yep.
And on there, there's a way to contact me, Patti at thiswayupbook.com.
Yep.
And I'm going to be running workshops online, Gerard.
Wow.
So speaking of this being a baby boomer show, it's been a real learning curve for me. I've had to run as fast as I can to be keeping up with this. But I'm going to be running workshops online because I found that I can't get to everybody that wants it. So I'm going to be doing it as an international workshop.
Well, what I wanted to say was, look, I'm sitting across the table from you, and I can feel your wonderful energy. You've got a passion.
I do.
Where did it come from? That's wonderful. I mean,
thank you.
When you look at some people today, they're as dead as a cucumber, aren't they? But you're alive. You're full of life, aren't you?
Oh,
so where did that come from?
What drives you? I feel really, really fortunate. It really is my default.
Yeah.
I automatically go to optimism. That's where my head goes, and I really do. I've always been like this, and I'm really fortunate. I believe that I have a belief system.
What did Mum and Dad say about Patti? There goes Patti again. Did they say that?
Yeah, they did. I mean, I had to do some therapy around that. Yeah. You're so hyper. I've heard a lot.
So, but you grew up in that California situation where ideas were hot, weren't they? So you were out there going rah rah rah.
I was out there going rah rah rah, marching the streets. I was.
And well, how can you change? That was you, wasn't it? That's you. Could we give some of these books away?
Absolutely.
Say 3 books?
I would be honored to give some books away.
So what we need to do, they've got to email Jared at thebeatgoeson.co.nz. Yeah, we need a really intelligent question, and I reckon This Way Us Up. What's the name of the book? That's That's an intelligent question.
That's an intelligent question.
So if they can, as I say, Jared at thebeatgoeson.co.nz and put in the subject line, "This Way Is Up," and we'll pick 3 winners.
Perfect.
And they'll win a book each. Wow.
Excellent.
And they're going to love it. So,
and if I could add one more thing,
yeah.
all of in the book there are several visualizations,
yep.
and all of them are online
yep.
on my YouTube page, my YouTube channel. So all of that can be accessed right now.
Yep.
If you go to Patti Clark at YouTube, you can find all the visualizations there.
Now, there's been some great motivational self-help books
yes.
written over the years. Tell me your favorite before you go.
Oh, absolutely, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron.
Oh, really?
I adore that book.
The Artist's Way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what did that do for you?
What it did for me is it opened up a creative channel.
Yeah.
And it, I've always been a journaler.
Yeah. And when did you read that? What year did you read that?
1990, probably, maybe
wow.
92.
And that's had an
like
effect on you.
Huge.
So that means that somebody could read your book and have the same effect. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a transformational book for me. And if I heard that the same was true for someone else, it would make my heart sing.
Patti, you've been a classic baby boomer.
Thank you.
The exact type of person we need on The Beat Goes On.
Thank you so much.
The beat is going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.